We are with Roy Clark today, and we're going to visit a little bit about your history of your career. And you're
Don't
here.
tell it all.
I know, we'd have all day. And tomorrow night, you're here for the ACM Honors, and you get to present an award, so we'll touch on that. What do you want to talk about first?
Whatever comes to mind.
All right.
I'll be right beside you.
All right, well, let's talk about the presentation of the awards, since that's tomorrow night. Which award are you presenting?
Barry Adelman and I have sort of grown up in the same era anyway, and I don't know if he is retiring or they just are going to honor him, and they've chosen me to be the one that presents the award.
Awesome. What's your tie-in with Barry?
He's been a writer. I think he's done some producing, and he's part of the Dick Clark. What would you call Dick Clark Enterprises? Mm-hmm. So I've known him forever, and that he wanted me to be the one to. He requested my presence.
Good. Any impromptu chance of you guys singing or of you singing?
Don't know if Barry sings or not, but if it comes up as something that should be done,
you would do it.
I'm all for it.
Awesome. Now you're still out performing and doing shows and stuff. Talk about, you've got a new little talk show, so to speak. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, a couple of people that I hang around with, Rodney Lay is my band leader and road manager and has been for 30-some years. I got to talking with Jim Halsey, my manager, and said, you know, there's a format that's happening all over the country where you go out and just talk with the audience. And I said, you mean take my guitar off? And they said, yes, it's just you and them. We got a chance for them to ask things that they have often wondered, and for you to answer things and get it off your chest. So I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound very comfortable to me. And they say, you'd be surprised at how many people are doing it. Not necessarily in music. And I said, well, so we tried one in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I live, and it's a little neighborhood theater kind of place, so we just begged and let us come in to use their facilities and just see how it would work. And it felt pretty comfortable. Everybody said very possible that we can do it. And so I guess after that first initial get together, it was probably 2 months before we actually did a concert consisting of a working title of Spend an Evening with Roy Clark. All the things you've always wanted to know, and nothing is to be held back, but all in good taste.
That was my next question. Has there been any questions that someone has asked that you either refused or that was just totally inappropriate?
No, you know, it's strange. I guess it's because we are easy to get along with because we don't go to those extremes in any direction. And so I think they pick it up. The audience picks it up, and if you were starting to, you know, start off and go down the wrong road, they would join you there too. But we're just good old boys.
What's been your favorite question asked so far, or one that maybe just really touched your heart that you kind of remember?
Well, the ones that have got my attention are the ones where the audience, people in the audience, have seen me before, and some maybe 20 years before, 30 years before, and a show that they took their mother and dad to see years ago, and they're no longer with us, and they come out and made me aware that I am very special in their lives.
Right.
And so when they remember something I did back then, and it's still special to them, it makes me feel good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there still a bucket list that you want to achieve? You've achieved so much in your lifetime already. Is there still that one pinnacle thing or two, whatever, that you really want to get out there and do?
You know, I don't know. I feel in one way that I've done about all the things that I would like to do, but then again, there is tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And you never know that circumstances will change. You change your way of thinking, and so I'm wide open for. I ought to put a lid on it, though. I should get a bucket list with a lid, so that I'm not subjected into having more than I can handle. Yeah. Bite off more than I can chew.
There you go. Anybody that you would love to do a duet with yet that you've not had the opportunity to sing with?
Boy, I have been so fortunate to make some friends of people that I idolize as long as I can remember. And when I meet them and get to know them, makes me feel good when they're good people, because it shows that I have good taste.
There, it's all you. That's right. That's right. What of all the songs that you've performed and recorded, what's your favorite that you love to do and you could do over and over yet again?
That's hard to do. Now, I've made several tours of different countries, like the Far East and in Europe, and to see people react to what I'm doing, you don't think about it because it'll scare you. You know, if I'm going to try to keep up with the audience the way that they are, I mean, they're open for anything that you lay on them. Mm-hmm. And so you reach back, you have a language barrier that is going to make it a little harder for you to communicate. But when we were in Russia, those people there, although we would do tunes like Rocky Top, they didn't know what a Rocky Top was. Right. But we had an interpreter that would use the slang that we use and change it into Russian slang. So we had two shows in one. We'd do a tune, and I'd have him interpret what I was saying, like
Somewhere
Orange Blossom Special. And I'd tell the interpreter, I'd say, this is a story about a train that, and he'd go, that was a train that carries fruit from Florida up to the North Coast. And he'd look at me, and he would say now the ones in the audience that spoke English, they'd react to what
you said,
what I was saying. Right. And then they'd get the second part that he did, and then the other part of the audience would laugh. And so and the more we got to know him, and we used the same interpreter after the whole tour, that we really got to where we threw each other some curves.
I bet.
It really became a show in shows.
I bet. Talk about a change in the people and circumstances. How involved are you with the social media now that it's taken over the world? Do you do any of it yourself? Do you have people do it for you? Are you not on it at all?
I don't know. It's probably, I have people that do everything else, so it's easy to say that they probably take care of me, that I don't have to come up with a definite answer, just like we're doing now.
Sometimes I wish it was a little bit more that way.
Really, I know.
It does consume, and there's too much out there and everything else. But, well, I haven't mentioned the hee-haw. I mean, everybody relates you to hee-haw. You guys are together. What is one of your favorite memories? I know there's many, but anything that stands out that...
On hee-haw? Mm-hmm. Boy, there are so many moments, because I've named all the ones in Minnie Pearl, Roy Acuff, Archie Campbell, Junior Samples, Lulu Roman, all the pretty girls. Every day was a new experience, because every day was a different, we didn't do the same thing day after day. They changed sets, and they do the Moonshine Still, and where they laid on the porch with the dog, and it was just like a world in its own, really. Mm-hmm. And you became part of it. whatever they were doing, go get some overhauls. And the funny thing was Sammy Davis Jr., when he came on the show, he went back and got, he come out dressed like he was in Hollywood with all his spangles and diamonds and gold watches and stuff. And so Sam went to him and said, Sammy, we're trying, the image of Hee Haw is not what, so he talked to Sammy, said, well, I don't go anywhere without my jewelry. That's what I am. And so he said, well, okay, I'll give it a try. And he went back to wardrobe. He came back and he had on a pair of big overhauls, but that was all. He still had his jewelry on.
He wasn't going to let it go.
I wasn't going to turn it away, yeah.
Well, I don't blame him. How many total songs have you recorded that became big hits? Do you have a...
Oh, well, you put big hits, that cut the number down. Let's see, I had the first one with Tips of My Fingers. If I Had to Do It All Over Again. The biggest selling was Yesterday When I Was Young. But there's been more. When I sit down and try to remember, because you will get requests from one that I recorded 20 years ago that I've never done. I recorded it, but I never played it again.
Yeah.
But you'll get a request.
Sure, it's somebody's favorite. It touched them. They like it.
Really?
How many total albums have you put out?
Again, not that many, because I'm not, what I've regarded myself as being not a record maker. I've all my time that usually do records and or television.
Right.
I do the television part. And so it, one thing if I had a bucket list I'd add is that I would spend more time to some things on albums that I didn't take the time or didn't have the time to do when it originally came out.
Right. When's the last time you were in a studio and did some recording?
A long time, come to think of it. It's been, what, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years?
That's not a long time, but it's been a while, yeah.
No, but I'm looking for a way to go in and do something that would excite me. And that's, in the past I tried to make everything that I would record. I'd come into town, into Nashville, and I would, my producer would be in before me. He would call all the publishing houses and ask for their stack of records, say demos, that Roy was going to come in town and he wanted to go through what you have. So we start off with stacks like that. And I did that, learned them, recorded them, all within 5 days.
Wow.
For an entire album. I passed Roger Miller one time at the airport. He was leaving, I was coming in, right out on the ramp. I said, how you doing? He said, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I'm coming in to record. He said, I've been here for 6 weeks and recorded every day and didn't get a single cut.
Oh, wow.
I said, in that amount of time, I would have recorded a year's worth. You know, but that's how critical he was of his own work.
Right.
And where I would let something I wasn't really all that proud of, didn't have time. I have to be in Chicago.
Right. Do it. Well, it's been a pleasure visiting with you, and I thank you for your time today.
Well, bless your heart.
We'll make sure and catch a show soon. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Master